Hi, I'm Molly Hazle, teacher at East Hardin. Today we're going to use another basic clay building method called pinch pot making. Now, when you're in elementary school, sometimes you make a pinch pot and that's all it becomes. But when you get older, you realize that a pinch pot is just a stepping stone for other things. So we're actually going to turn this pinch pot into a bird or a gargoyle. We're going to either make one pinch pot that you turn upside down, or two, which you will make round and then for a mouth. So you get a block of clay, and I'm going to go ahead and separate this into half so I can have eventually two balls that will become pinch pots. So lay one aside. You're going to roll it in a circular motion. In your hand, if that doesn't get it, use a clay mat or something that newspaper, burlap, something you're working on, and roll in a circular motion. Doesn't have to be perfect, okay? A ball shape, spherical shape. If you need to make two pinch pots, put that aside and roll this out to make another one. Now, if it's a little larger, you can always take some of that clay and put it aside for other things. So you're gonna roll it in a round motion. And if you're making two that are going to become one object, like this gargoyle, you want to try to maintain the same size. So right now, we're just going to make one pinch pot. We're going to make a ball, okay? Once you make that ball, you're going to stick your thumb in. I like to take my hand and put it on the bottom. When you feel your thumb starting to poke towards your hand, then you're done. You've gone too far, or you've gone far enough. You don't want to go through the bottom. Then you're going to squeeze the side a little so you can fit one more thumb in. You want to work from the bottom. That's why it's called pinch pot method. You're going to squeeze, squeeze and turn. And once you've done that all the way around, you're going to work your hands up, squeezing just slightly. You want the thickness of like a double stuffed Oreo cookie when you're done. Notice the pot's getting taller and wider. Okay, if you don't work from the bottom up, all your thickness will be in the bottom, and then you'll have these little thin edges when you get to the top. You want to make sure the rim is about the thickness all the way around. Like that. And that's your pinch pot. Now, if we were making birds, we would fold it over, and then you could use a little water to smooth it out, to make your body of your bird. You could even use a clay tool to get those edges really smooth. And if you ever dent in, you can always push it out from the inside to make it real smooth. So you want to get your body really, really smooth. All right, so once you maintain your pinch pot, it's hard to do anything with it unless you build something to go underneath of it so it will not cave in. This is called an armature. I like to use newspaper. It's good to ball up your newspaper and then unravel it and ball it up. Try to do that about 10 times so it gets nice and soft, because if you don't do that, the rough edges will stick out of your clay. So I'm just gonna ball that up at the bottom, flip it over. That allows it to maintain its shape, and you can really do things and add a little more pressure to that. So if you're making your bird, you're ready to add the features. Or if you're making something else that you're just going to turn upside down to make a body like this. If you're making a round spherical object that you want to open the mouth like this, or some other kind of pot, or a gargoyle, then you're going to want to make two pots exactly the same way. So I'm just going to stick my thumb in one more time and do the method I showed you before. And you want to keep looking at your other pot because you want to maintain almost the same size. Remember, you don't want all that thickness at the bottom. You want to work bottom up. Once I have my two pots about the same size, I will again take some newspaper, stuff it, remember crumpling and unraveling 10 times each to make sure it gets nice and soft and the edges don't stick out of the clay. Okay, once you do that, you're going to stuff your pinch pot. And when we attach two objects together, we always score and slip. So we'll take our plastic knife or tool. We're going to rough up the edges. rough up the edges here. And make sure we put a little water on it. That will be our slip. That helps it seal. And then we're just gonna squish them together. Okay, and then when you do that, you wanna kind of work this together and get rid of that seam by pinching it together. Once you've closed it up, you now have a spherical object that you can shape again into a perfect ball. And now you have a ball that is hollow and eventually can be a mouth open for a gargoyle. That's how you're eventually going to get to here.